Artists' autographs, something I never thought about turning into a video until I saw my friend Mazzy do it. And as I've said a million times on this channel, I like the stories more than sound quality of a record. So when I saw Mazzy do that, I figured I would follow suit. I don't have, well, it's all relative, right? But Mazzy's, he's got like Beatles autographs. I don't have any of that. Although you're gonna see. So these are not all of my autographs, although I used to be quite the collector as a kid. I collected autographs from athletes. I had a ton of Lawrence Taylor and Kareem and Magic, and I lost them all, or we lost them all in a move, maybe 30 years, 25 years ago. But my artist autographs, I still have a lot of them. But first, before jumping into that, I don't know that I did in the one video I've done since the new year. I think I've done one. Thank you all for subscribing, because that led to every subscription, as I mentioned, was $1 to Backline, which is a nonprofit that supports mental health in the music industry. We raised about $830, the last count prior to the year turning over. So thank you to everyone who subscribed. And now, since there's no more fundraiser, you can unsubscribe if you want. The money's already been paid. Although I probably will do a similar fundraiser, maybe not tied to subscriptions, but something else in the coming months on the mental health front. So here they are. I just, again, grabbed what was sort of near me. As you can see, somewhere on the wall. They're now down, so I can show them. And let's get started. I have, I don't know, 15 or so, 20. First, ticket stubs. So this is a ticket stub to see Blue Mountain, one of my favorite bands of the 90s, and one of my favorite bands ever. I just realized this show took place on my 26th birthday. Mercury Lounge in New York City. This was a tremendous show. If my memory serves me right, is that how you say it? It was Blue Mountain, Peter Bruntnell, and Marat, back-to-back nights. What a weekend that was. And I got the folks in Blue Mountain to sign this. I think it was after we spent some time watching their dog. They had a little dog that they took on the road with them, and I think during soundcheck or something, they asked us to watch the dog, and we did, and it was fun. Unexpected. Just, let's see, 9 months prior, was that 99? Yeah. Also at the Mercury Lounge, I saw the Bottle Rockets, and they signed a ticket stub. Another band from the 90s that I adored. Discovered the Bottle Rockets right around the same time that I discovered Uncle Tupelo. Brian Henneman was obviously in the earliest or first incarnation of Wilco. He played guitar, was obviously replaced by Jay Bennett. But the Bottle Rockets, great band. My friend Eric Amble, who used to own the Lakeside Lounge in New York, once invited me in to see the Bottle Rockets record some tracks from their album Brand New Year, is that what it was called? With Nancy Sinatra on it. And I just sat there and watched them record, and man, was that a treat. Thanks again, Eric, for that. Next, I bought this after he passed away. One of my all-time favorite singer-songwriters. Sorry, my dog's trotting all over the place. Justin Townes Earle. I bought a signed copy of the cassette for Kids in the Street. I treasure this. So we were talking Beatles, and I said, well, I do have this signed. So this was an early, when this book came out, I think they did a partnership with Barnes & Noble. And you got this sort of deluxe version. It was not cheap, but it's Bruce, so I had to have it. They made 1,500. There's Bruce's signature. This is number 1424 of 1,500. Never in a million years did I think I would have Bruce Springsteen's autograph. So obviously a huge treat to have that. You all right, pal? Next is Graham Nash, Songs for Beginners. So I saw Graham Nash, sorry, let's see if he needs anything, he's all right. When I was working in the tech world, well, I'm still working in the tech world, but I do it on my own now, but when I was working for a large tech company, there was a showcase that, I think it was a Warner, is he on Warner? I think he's on Warner, showcase, and it was Jenny Lewis and Graham Nash. And I brought this and had Graham Nash sign it, and he was such a sweet guy. This is a great record that not a lot of record people know, but worth checking out if you don't know it. Great, great record. And he was a very charming guy. This is hard to see. So I recently made this into a frame. Right here is a menu from, I think I've shown this before, from Johnny D's, don't know if it's still around, whoops, which was a restaurant slash club in Somerville, Massachusetts. And in 1995, I saw Wilco play there. The first time I ever saw Wilco, I think it was Wilco's 4th show. They signed this. The room was not, there was half people there. I yelled out for Whiskey Bottle, which is the J for R songs. I didn't know what I was doing. But that is signed by the band. It's sort of fading, but it's still there. And above is, I don't know why I put these together, but a postcard that my brother sent me right around this, a little bit, maybe a few years later, when I was struggling with some stuff. And he sent me a very loving postcard, which I obviously wanted to hold on to. So these sit together. This is a Paul Westerberg. I think I got this on eBay, so I don't know if it's real. I think if there's a certificate of authenticity, it's behind this. I can't remember. I don't really care about those, which is ridiculous because I might get ripped off sometimes. But obviously, if I'm paying a lot of money, I hope I get one of those. But like with my stuff, I don't need to get them certified. They're just going to end up going to my nephew or nieces or somebody. But Paul Westerberg, he just signed it. Paul, pretty good one. There's going to be a lot of overlap here. So this is a photo I took, which I've shared, I'm sure, probably 100 times, with Jeff Tweedy at the Paradise Rock Club in June of '95. My brother had a copy of this and saw Wilco, I believe, at Bogart's in Cincinnati and had Jeff sign it. It says, "Thanks, Jeff Tweedy." And then my brother mailed it off to me. I will obviously cherish that. Here are a couple CDs. So this is from South by Southwest, I don't know, maybe 2000, 2002. Japanese band called Noodles. My friends and I were really into. I don't think they're together anymore. But I saw them and got them to sign this. I remember we watched it. It was like they would have what they call Japan Night at South by Southwest, and these guys, I believe, were the headliner, and they were tremendous. Next is the Wrens album, Silver. So I got this signed after seeing them in San Francisco in 2005, I think. 2005 or 2006. They're from Jersey, so they wrote on the back, White Castle Rules. I don't know, is White Castle a Jersey? I thought White Castle was a national thing. I think I've had White Castle once when I was in college in Boston at like 5 in the morning, and I don't recall it being very good. But the guys from the Wrens, hung out with them. I remember we bought a round of Coronas. We all had a Corona and talked about New Jersey, and they signed this for me. Sunvolts, Straightaways. I got this signed at Irving Plaza in New York when this came out. So this came out, I think, in 97. Yeah, so on the Straightaways tour, they were giving, or selling these, I think selling them, at the show, signed by the original band, which is the best version of Sunvolt. Jay Farrar, the Boquist brothers, Mike Hydorn, and Eric Haywood on pedal steel. My friend Brian, also, I have a poster of that, which is on the wall. I didn't take it down. Also signed by the band. So just a larger version of that. This, from Josh Ritter, one of my favorite albums of all time, The Historical Conquests of Josh Ritter. Right after this came out in 2007, I believe it was, I interviewed Josh for Jambase. You can still find that. It was a good interview. He's a really interesting guy. Hung out on his tour bus, sat in the back. I have the recording on a little non-digital, actual cassette tape recording. But he said, "Chris, may all the right words come to you when you need them." What a sweet note. Josh, as anybody who follows him, is a very thoughtful guy. So love that one. I gotta get that in a frame. Mike Watt. I don't know why I was acting like that was heavy. This thing weighs like a pound, maybe. I made a grimace like it was heavy. Mike Watt, I saw at Bottom of the Hill, maybe 2010-ish. He wore a yellow jumpsuit. He was with the Missing Men, his band, and they were tremendous. And I have 3 signatures. There's 2 that are in this book that I'm about to share a few from. Such a cool guy, such a treat. Took a photo. Did I take a photo with him? No, I just took a couple photos of him up close. So a couple, it's gonna be hard to do. This is a huge book. It's a scrapbook that I used to put articles and signatures and all sorts of stuff in. It's crazy stuff here. There's stuff from when Wilco first started touring, their mailers, Sunvolt first started touring. There's 2. Freddie Johnston signed This Perfect World. Marat, one of my favorite bands in the 90s. When I saw them in Philly, they signed this. How's that? Marat, the last rock and roll band. Well, some would say that's accurate. Here's a good one. I was getting a lot of signatures in 1999. If you can see there, Joe Henry. That was at Maxwell's in Hoboken, New Jersey, June 24th, 1999. Saw him. Oh, there's Marat again. This one, you can't, I'm gonna knock stuff over if I go too close. Is one that I treasure. They wrote some really funny notes on it. A couple more in here. Got some of these articles. I can't believe I have these. Sunvolt tour dates on there for one of the original Wilco articles from Rolling Stone. Bunch of promo stuff. Real quick, there's Joe Pernice. When he put the book out, Feels So Good When I Stop, the novel, he signed that. There's a couple more. Got articles, interviews with R.L. Burnside. This is pretty great. Not a signature, but I'm going to share it. 1998. This is a printout of an email that I sent to my buddy Brian when I would regularly write him like my favorite albums. What's the matter, buddy? Come here. Come here. And I sent him my top 10 records of all time, May of 1998. And here they are, in no order. Uncle Tupelo, Still Feel Gone, still in my top 10. Wilco Being There, probably not in my top 10. Dylan, Blonde on Blonde, close. Steve Earle, Train a Comin', that's a great record. I'm pumped that I had it in my top 10. Sunvolt Trace, that's a top 10 record. Big Star, #1 record, Radio City, I guess I made that as one record. Richard Buckner, Devotion and Doubt, definitely in my top 10. The Beatles, Beatles for Sale, not in my top 10. Neil Young, Everybody Knows This Is Nowhere, could be in my top 10, and Springsteen, Nebraska. And then I have others receiving votes, and there's about 400 records. So nothing has changed. What was I reading at the time? Johnny Cash's autobiography and Herman Hesse's Siddhartha. My favorite recent movie, The Myth of Fingerprints and The Sweet Hereafter. I remember Sweet Hereafter, don't remember Myth of Fingerprints. There's a couple more Mike Watt ones. This is a good one. Kelly Willis. Saw her, this is also 1999. Man, this is the year when I got all my signatures. Saw her at the Tin Angel with my brother, a night that only I will know what happened that night. It was an adventurous, crazy night. One that I think I've told like one person is just a wild night. But we met Kelly Willis. She was performing with Bruce Robeson and Richard Buckner, and just an incredibly talented, kind human being. I met her at the bar, got it signed. My brother was a little bit too nervous to talk to her, I remember. And then we just had a wild night after that. All right, that's it for the book. Hey, Bennett, come here. Why don't you lay down? Lay down. Might have to take him out. Tim Easton, certainly one of my brother's favorite artists and definitely one of mine. He has a project called Easton Stagger Phillips. This record is great. I highly recommend, if you like singer-songwriters, sort of mellow, check this record out, Resolution Road. They came out maybe 10 years ago. I don't even know. But I think they signed every copy. So got that. Beck, Mellow Gold. You can see the signature. It's starting to fade, or it's been fading. That's Beck and me. So this was when I worked at MTV in New York. Kurt Loder interviewed Beck for the staff, and I got to meet Beck. And I remember Kurt Loder just kept asking Beck to name like his favorite recent albums and movies, and he wouldn't. And then he finally mentioned one movie, and it was called The Celebration, which I have seen, and that is a great movie. I think it's Dutch. I don't know. But I got to meet Beck on the Mellow. It was a Midnight Vultures tour. Last and probably the most cherished, I went to see Wave Fest with both of my brothers in 1997. You can see the lineup. Awesome lineup. David Byrne, Cracker, Sunvolt, Blue Mountain, the Jayhawks, Wilco. Am I missing anybody that I care about? No, I think that about wraps it up. I'm trying to read backwards. But and most of the bands after they performed, it was an outdoor venue, would go and sign autographs. And I only had Sunvolt and Wilco sign. I think this is the only time they ever played at the same place since Uncle Tupelo broke up. And they all signed it, and you can see right here, Jeff Tweedy signed there and wrote, "Who?" and pointed to Jay Farrar. So for the Uncle Tupelo fanatics and purists, $1 billion and you can have this. It was a great weekend. It was rainy and muddy, but it was so much fun. I was there again with both my brothers. We were down there for a wedding. And this came out of it. And I think I had two more. One went to my friend Scott. And I don't remember, there was another, there was a third, I can't remember where that one went. But a great festival. That's it. I have plenty others, plenty of others, but nothing more to share now. Thanks for watching. I will try to do more videos. I hope this is a better year for many, most, some, or all of you. And I will check in soon. I'm going to the record store today for the first time of 2022. I want to get that Cat Power covers record and maybe one or two others. So have a good weekend, and I'll talk soon. We'll talk soon.